Hola, ¿cómo está? Bien, you too. Bonjour, mon ami, mon frère. Yeah, this is Canadian Conquistador again, bringing you a video on observation part 2. While back I did, probably a year ago, did an observation video on your immediate yard. It's a pretty in-depth video, you should go back and look at it. Here today, though, I am going to go more in depth with that in regards to your immediate weather. Weather in Denver is, although I'm a suburb in Denver, we actually have a microzone difference of 1. So whereas Denver is 5B, we are 6A here, where I live in the suburbs. So Denver weather on the channel, what they say is not exactly what's going to happen in your yard, although I'm only a couple miles away. I'm a little closer to the Front Range. Wind direction, the effects the mountain have on the snow amounts are completely different from here in the suburb than in Denver. Here I have an instrument, a weather instrument that tells me exactly what's going on in my yard, the amount of precipitation, wind direction, wind speed, amount of solar that I get. This instrument directly tells me what's going on in my yard, so a year from now I can jot down these notes today and see kind of like an estimate of what the weather was around this time of the year. Yeah, so we're going to go in depth in this video, a little bit about the instrument, about observing your immediate microclimate. And I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you get something from it. If you do, hit that like button at the bottom of your screen. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to this channel. And the more numbers we get, of course, the more views people will see these videos. And it will be not in vain, you know? So let's go with another video. Mike, I want to talk to you about this weather station up here. You want to know how much rainfall is falling in your yard. You want to be able to average those days. You want to be able to average how many days you have below 0 and roughly what time of year it is. And this system allows you to do that because I believe it records back to a year. It gives you the highs and lows of the year. Yeah, of course you want to know about frost. And it's very convenient to have this station set up because you can actually see the temperature inside and outside temperatures with the gauge that's installed inside. Yeah, and wouldn't it be nice that if the power goes out, you still have a means of recording things. You can still take your temperatures, your rainfall, all that stuff is independent of the power grid. I will show you later on in this video how you can attach this to connect to your local weather apps, and we will go through that process shortly. There's no such thing as bad weather, just soft people. Bill Bowerman. It takes complete sense as humans that we look ahead to what the days or weeks weather has in store for us. Knowing what the weather could be may have a direct influence on how we plan our day, such as running to the grocery store preparing for a menacing forecast later in the week, when we take vacations or board up our windows. Weather plays a greater role, however. It influences the growth of plants, where civilizations flourish, migration of animals, energy use, availability of food, worms, insects, and nectar flow. On a micro level, observing the climate in your immediate area is even more important and personal to you. Owning your own personal off-grid weather station allows you to analyze and record data throughout the years to make better decisions for your urban backyard homestead. Prosperous civilizations have been doing this for thousands of years. Observation of climate or climatology goes back to the year 400 BC, records from one of the Greeks renowned, Hippocrates. He wrote about climate and how it determines which civilizations thrive and those who would not, known as climate determination. Later on, 1640 to 1642, English scientists had invented the thermometer and barometer to systematically begin recording daily weather patterns. Soon after, the trade winds in Gulf Stream were measured and mapped. In the early 20th century, scientists then measured over a 30-year periodic climatic averages to calculate what was considered normal so that extreme weather could be measured. Today's weather forecasts stem from data accumulated over many decades. Records of rainfall, temperature, atmospheric pressures are compiled using past, present, and future statistical models to predict approximations only, and the use of satellites and other variables make it more accurate than ever before. So how do we exactly record those things that we cannot see? I mean, we can do it the medieval style. Tie a string around a tree and watch the wind blow it in certain directions. Or we can buy ourselves an instrument that records those powers that we cannot see. Those things such as temperature, wind direction, detecting the pressures of the atmosphere. If we install it in a position that will record the most accurate readings. Alright, so we installed this on copper piping. We have a water catch right here. Thermometer. Wind direction back there. And wind speed. And we also have a solar panel on top. Alright, so here you got your indoor sensor. It's Bluetooth to the outside sensor, obviously. It gives time, date, phases of the moon or sun. If it's snowing or raining, I'll show little illustrations of that. Barometric pressure. If it starts going down, that means you have a bad weather on its way. UV index says it's high. Amount of light, which would be irrelevant during the nighttime. Temperature indoor, temperature outdoor, wind direction, and amount of rain. You can see this is flashing now. It says it's going to be snow, but that's wrong, obviously. So this isn't 100% perfect, but this is something ideal. You can be inside, be warm, and see how much rain you're getting or whatever. Wind direction, obviously. Yeah, I recommend this highly to anybody, or get a couple of them actually. Put one on front yard and one in the backyard, whatever. And you'll even notice differences there, especially if you've done a lot of work in your backyard. You've put in lots of soil, planted lots of trees and everything, and your front yard is all grass. You'll notice a little difference between temperatures, and give it a try. I'm not going to tell you how to set this up because each one's different, but they're all kind of the same, but they do have their own settings at the bottom or wherever, and calibrate this to the outside. That's all I got to say about this. So after you install your outdoor weather instrument and your indoor monitor, the coolest thing about this system is that you can go to the Weather Underground and you can plug in, register your device to their app or their community, and so that your weather station actually acts as part of the nation's weather. They get more accurate readings the more weather stations they have hooked up. So go ahead and hook it up. Alright, so we're inside. I wanted to, when we're talking about observing microclimates in your backyard, one of the most important tools you can have is a journal. Now, I've been journaling for a couple of years now, and it's kind of interesting. The data you want to collect is, at least what I want to collect is temperature, rain or hail or snow, watering, meaning you watering. I put down fertilizer. In this case, I was doing composting, and I wrote down when I turned it, the temperature of the compost pile, and you can see how it got up to 120 and then it just dropped down. So I put dead compost down here, Pesticides, I don't use pesticides, so I was basically just meaning fertilizer, like copper, naming the trees. Here I had bought 30 pounds of coconut coir, worm castings, mycelium, and azomite, and I added it around the trees. See, I wrote it down on the 5th. It was 43 degrees. I'm assuming this is the humidity was 56%. Pruning, trees that I'd pruned during this time or planted. I also got planting and harvesting written in this journal. Yeah, like bulbs, which ones I put in, which ones I had to cold stratify in the refrigerator, seeds, you know, what I planted, took tree wrap off, grease bands. This was all important stuff. Produce, this is just what I harvest, and it was during the winter. This is February, so February 2020. So we can look down here from last year and go, okay, so rain, precipitation, we got a dusting of snow on the 4th, dusting overnight, we got 3 inches on the 10th, we got an inch on the 16th, 3 inches on the 19th, and today is the 20th of February 2021. And last year we got 3 inches of snow on the 19th, 4 inches of snow on the 20th, and this year we got 3 inches of snow on the 19th. So you can use this data and assume that somewhere around here during next year we're going to get snow also. So it's just a good tool to journal. I highly recommend journaling. This is data collection. You can write it directly from your weather station that I showed previously. That data can be collected and put in here, and this is all part of observation. You really need to observe your backyard homestead. Although it might be a tiny place, it's kind of important. It's not necessary, but it's kind of important and fascinating to just compare this stuff to last year's data and just see the kind of work that you did. So I highly recommend journaling. Go ahead and journal on your homestead. This is all part of observation. This is where we go with this stuff. All right, just thought you should know this. So here's one of those debatable subjects on climate change. So people are saying that humans are causing climate change through fossil fuels, through our automobile exhausts, chemical plants spewing millions of cubic tons into the atmosphere. If you've ever taken a plane ride and you see the size of humanity upon the planet's surface, it is minuscule. It is so minuscule. The exhaust coming off these things is such a small amount compared to the size of the atmosphere. Yeah, this is debatable, like I said, and heavily opinionated by myself. But they're saying that we are causing these drastic climate change, yet there is historical proof that I think it was the year 1065 or something like that, Chinese scientists had gone into this arid desert and they found old petrified bamboo, where bamboo could not possibly grow in this climate. But however, this shows proof that the bamboo forests were thriving and were there in this desert area, but it wasn't obviously a desert at the time. So it shows that within a school amount of time, thousands of years, that in its natural course, without pollution and everything, the earth will go through these changes, where northern Africa, the Sahara Desert, might one day be a thriving jungle, and the Amazon basin might dry up and become an arid desert. This has nothing to do with humans. It has to do with a lot of radiation from the sun, natural occurrences that you find in nature, and we are not in control. Remember that. A higher power is definitely in control of all this, and it's been this way since the beginning of time, when man was created, and before that. The earth goes through its natural phases. We are just on for the ride. So don't let people, in my opinion, tell you that you're in control of things. Don't let them think that you can possibly destroy the earth. There's only one, the Creator, that can destroy this earth. And He has given us these resources to use. And it is not the cause of global warming. Global warming is a natural process, in my opinion. But there you go. Hopefully I didn't piss off too many people. So there you go. We improved our observation by analyzing, using devices, instruments that can forecast and see things that we can't see with the human eye. We installed a weather instrument. We can monitor the weather now from indoors. We're off grid with it. We can go ahead and install it to the weather station app, and now our immediate local weather contributes to the overall weather stations, improving weather accuracy in your local area. And yeah, we hope this helps with your observation. Remember to journal. It's pretty important, not necessary. But yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope that you got something out of it. And stay tuned for my next videos. I'm hoping to get more momentum going on with these videos. It's pretty stressful. I've taken 3 weeks to get this one out. It's just been procrastinating for some reason. It's been very cold. I didn't want to be outside. But yeah, stay tuned, and remember, conquer your world.